Hello, I'm Julian Mather, first-time granddad, long-time learner. This is Best Grandad. It's my curious, messy, heartfelt quest to be the best granddad I can be. This is week 3, my first 12 months as a granddad. All right, let's get into it.
The best gift you can give your grandkids isn't stuff, it's you.
A quick recap of what Best Grandad is all about. The Best Grandad project connects kids who need mentors with older men who need purpose. How do we do that? We help granddads show up for the next generation with play, presence, and purpose. There you go. And I must say, I've just looked at the intro titles there, and a big difference. I've gone back to a short trim beard. I've got a chin. First time I've seen that in a long time. So yeah, I've been a granddad for just over 12 months now. So I thought, why don't I just do just a very brief review of what worked, what didn't work, maybe something that was unexpected. And so I've categorized these into the 3 pillars of the Best Grandad project: play, presence, and purpose. But I want to start off with presence first, because I mean, it really is. It's about, as it says, the best gift you can give your grandkids isn't stuff, it's you. So, learning to show up and, switch your phone off, not worry about doing a crosswords, just making that extra effort to jump in the car and, go and see them for an hour, whatever it takes, that turning up. And the reason I want to talk about that is I've looked back and I just realize I am bonded to my grandson now in just 12 months. I mean, his mother tells me this. We just have this special bond, like she has a mother-son bond. I have this bond that she recognizes. And so, I mean, I've been turning up. I mean, I'm lucky. I have the time to do that. But one of the things I think that really helped was I'm not one for putting kids in cars and putting kids in strollers if I can find another way, because it's just like there's a separation, even though they're there and they can hear your voice. Like there's a physical, like in a pram, there's the sunshade over the top. They're not there part of you. So one of the things I felt really helped was I got this front carrier. And again, if you saw the opening titles there's a picture of me with my little grandson Remy in this carrier. And it has just worked wonders, because he's actually physically up against my body, and his little head is here, and I'm talking to him and I'm whispering to him, and I'm just, I've got a reasonably deep voice, and I just put my head on his chin and I just talk, and I know he can feel the vibrations, from that. And the physical closeness really helps with the bonding. And the icing on the cake is he absolutely loved it. He would still be doing it now. I just retired it 3 to 4 weeks ago. He was just getting way too big. I mean, it was killing my back. And honestly, I think people were looking at me and going, "What are you doing with that man-child who's in front of you there?" But he loved it because he's up and he's looking and talking and seeing, and he's interacting, and it really helps with the presence. I first saw it in New Zealand. I was there earlier this year, and we were walking up a walk up to the glacier up to Mount Cook, and there was a young family, and the mother had this one on. And the difference of this one, it's not, you get these little baby papooses, which mothers use, and they're almost like a netting cradle, and they cocoon you in very close. This one is when the kids are slightly bigger, and it has a little seat on it. And the seat, I mean, it kills me holding a child in front of me. It kills me holding anything in front of me. And so having this little seat was just a wonder. And I would put it on, and he would just visibly stand up in front of me, put his hands up, and I'd plonk him on. It took only a time or two to work out how to put one of the straps in my mouth to hold it while I put the other one over my arm, then one arm through, and it's just one clip behind, and it's fantastic. So I saw it. Okay, now the point there was the woman I saw who had it. She was Dutch, and she'd bought this one in Holland. She said, "Oh, it's a very well-known one, but it's very expensive." It was something like 400 Australian dollars, and I went, "Oh, well, that's not happening." And when I got back, I just started searching, and I found out that Kmart sells them for $50. Best $50 investment. I mean, if you start at 6 months and go through to 12 months or so, like I did, wow, what a great investment. And your little grandkid will love it. So that's the first thing about bonding. The second one is that then I upgraded, elevated, what's the word, progressed, can't think of the word, my little grandson Remy to the bike seat in front of me. So I bought an electric bike. $1,200 entry level. We've done about 20 rides now. He loves it. I can't tell you how much he loves it. I'm actually now cycling it's about 5-6 kilometers to his parents' house to pick him up in the mornings when I'm looking after him, and I drop him back. And he loves these long rides as well, because I thought, oh, he'd get a little bit antsy from sitting just in the front. Absolutely loves it. He squealed with delight. As we're going along, he does brum, brum, brum. And as we come up behind people, they hear this noise and they turn around and look, and it's me and this little kid. And he rings the bell now. It's got a little push down bell. He knows how to do that. It just absolutely loves it. And again, his head is here, and I'm talking to him, and I'm putting my hand around and just touching him and holding him and pointing, and that bonding is just so strong from this. So look, that's one person's experience, but as if you can afford to get either of those, compared to buying a toy, and I'll get into toys in a moment, because we all know, if you've had kids, well, clearly if you're a granddad, you've had kids, that you buy toys and they've got such a short lifespan. All right, so that's, one more thing under the presents category is keeping a diary. So I'm on Mac, and I just use Apple Notes, and I keep a diary of my things he's doing, things he's saying, little milestones and stuff like that. But I found, the value, I'm a note taker, so I like doing that. It satisfies my inner urges. But I found for his parents, it's a really valuable tool, because they want to be doing this, but they're both working. And I know how that just, for the first 6 months, my daughter kept really meticulous notes. And I know from my own experience as a parent, we did that as well. And, it just tapers off. You can take up the slack. And my daughter was so appreciative when I showed her what I had been taking, because it lifted that sense of guilt from her. And it's a very easy thing to do. So how I do that is there's this saying, imagine an airport that ran on a to-do list. I'm not a big person on to-do lists. In fact, I've basically got rid of them out of my life, because all you end up is with this pile of to-do lists, and it makes this weight of what you don't get done. You just feel inadequate. You don't do it. So what I do is I schedule, and I do it in a very simple way. I just use my Google Calendar, Apple Calendar, whatever you use, and I give things names. So I've got Quarter Turn Tuesday. It's where we put Quarter Turn Tuesday is I rotate the plants, all the pot plants around my house. Walk around, takes 5 minutes, turn, quarter turn, and so they get the light. But it wouldn't happen unless in my calendar came up Quarter Turn Tuesday. Then I've started like weed kill Wednesday, which is once a month to stop the weeds growing up, and whether I'm spraying and I should be using poison or not, let's not go there. But that's how I keep it. So I schedule, and it's a simple habit. And now I do that with diary. It's Friday is diary day, and that's in my calendar. And every Friday, it just reminds me to spend 5 minutes to make a few quick notes, and then it's done. That's presence. That's two ways: bonding with the uh, bike carrier, with the front carrier and the bike seat, and keeping a diary for busy parents. I want to talk about play, and uh, we were talking earlier about the price of toys and the short lifespan, like the high price, the short lifespan of toys. Uh, I've been finding that things like rocks and sticks and stacking bowls and macadamia nuts and old bits and pieces, boy, oh boy, am I getting value from that. So uh, I'm right into this idea of play. And again, I'm lucky. I've got some space in my yard outside. I've got quite a large block of land for an inner city block with big trees, all sort of rainforested. So I've carved out an area and put a wooden platform with a little lightweight fence around it and put some plumbing in and put two taps in, and it's now water world. And so little Remy goes down there, and it's just coming into it's spring, coming into the hot days of summer. And so he just sits down there and he plays, and he'll just play for ages, picking up rocks and sticks and moving them around. Boy, oh boy, what a great value. So one of the other things I'm looking at now is I'm looking to get some swing sets and things like that. But again, they don't get, used for that long. So I'm looking on Facebook Marketplace, and there's a lot of these swing sets available. But one of the problems, and this is, I don't know which way I'm going to go, is that you look at the swing sets, and if they've been sitting out there in the elements for many years, all the bolts are rusted. And I do not want to go somewhere and spend an annoying number of hours trying to get bolts undone that won't come undone, and then having them snap, and then having to go out and find replacement bolts. So, really you can buy these things quite cheaply now. So, I mean, I don't know the answer there. I'll keep you updated there. But one of the things I have known about, if you're going to spend money, is that we almost forgot we had stored a box of Duplo, that like giant kid-sized Lego, and wooden blocks. And the reason that we stored them, we remembered back, was our kids got so much use out of them. And we brought them out, and little Remy loves them. Now, he just loves them. So it's almost 30 years on. Well, it is more than 30 years on, and we're reusing them. So talk about value for money. So, you probably know this. I'm not telling you anything new, but I recommend, particularly for a little boy, whether it's being, for your grandchild, uh, the Duplo and a box of blocks. It's just that's a great investment. The other thing that I'm now learning how this is working is the busy board. So I made up this busy board, which is like a 900 wide by 600 millimeter high board with all these little things, hooks and bells and xylophones and little twisty things and zippers and bits of Velcro, all little things to build the motor skills. When I first made this, and it was sort of brought out for his first birthday party, the kids used it, but they sort of were there for a minute or two, then moved on. I thought, what I've noticed now is that he is really getting into this, and he's challenging himself. And it's near, right, I've put it near where when we come back in from the bike rides, and it's becoming a bit of a ritual. He hops off the bike, and then we'll spend 5 to 10 minutes on this busy board. And every week he gets better. Every week he can do a switch. It's got light switches and different sorts of switches. Ones he couldn't do, he can do now. And it reminded me of when I built this, I set it so that, let me say this, I've always found in life, if you set the bar higher, people reach up to it. And yet I see so many people with this idea of helicoptering parenting, and that is that you lower the bar so the kids can step over it. He loves the bar being set higher now. He's working his way around, and I can see he does things. Oh, I can't do that. And he goes around. Oh, I can't do that. Next week he goes around. Oh, I can do that. And he loves that experience. So don't lower the bar so they can step over it. Set the bar so they can reach up. So that's what I've learned out of there. So that's with play where I am. So we've done presence, I've done play, and now I want to talk a bit about purpose. And the purpose is what can we as men coming into the older phase of our life, and a lot of men retire, and it's a big problem, and they don't have things planned out. So one of the things that I found, remember back I said I've got quarter turn Tuesday and diary day, Friday is diary day. One of the extra benefits I found is that now with Quarter Turn Tuesday, we have a message group within myself, my wife, and Remy's parents. And on Tuesdays, because it comes up in my calendar, I just sit there on my phone and send a message. Don't forget, it's our favourite day of the week. It's Quarter Turn Tuesday. And now I've got them doing it as well. But now I'm involved, and as men, what we typically do is we outsource emotional labor to the females in our life. And little things like this, I'm finding it's keeping me involved. So that is great, and it's improving me communicating. I'm involved and I feel involved, and it's also important. Another thing I want to mention too is what I'm doing here with this Best Grandad project is that I don't know what I'm doing. I'm working this out as I go, and it's a slow start, but every week I get another subscriber to the Substack platform that this is on. I got a email 2 days ago. I'm having a meeting with a woman tomorrow who just said with the new Grandad Club that I'm starting, which is the in-person event to get other new granddads to come up, and just together we can share some stories and connect and try to figure out how we're going to be the best granddads we can be and just build our confidence a bit. So that's an in-person event. She saw this advertised on Facebook and said, I'd really like to help you. And she has a lot of experience in, community events and government funding. And so it's step by step. But what I wanted to tell you, if you're listening to this and you're going, I have no skills to do anything like this, I want to convince you otherwise. And the more you listen to me, the more I'm going to be banging on about this, because I think it's so important that I don't think you understand the possibility that is out there. A lot of people from our generation have come through this process where, you went to school and you got a job and you progressed through your career and you got promotions, and you had to wait for permission. You had to be tapped on the shoulder that it's your turn now. A lot of people and granddads will not understand it's not like that anymore. You can choose yourself. You can you can just get an idea, and the barrier to entry, the cost of running some software, just showing up, doing a podcast like this, writing something, making a video, putting your ideas out there, and starting to build a network and a community. The barrier to entry to this is so low. So even though, so I've just called this the Best Grandad Project, but I'm actually encouraging you to start your own version, but even narrow it down. I just wrote down here, Fish with Grandad, fishwithgrandad.com. There you go. Garden with Grandad. If you've got an interest and you're thinking, well, how can I stay interested but share my enthusiasm with grandkids as they grow up? It's very easy to start, and as we go, I'll give you more strategies and tips on doing this. But I just want to point out one thing at the moment. A lot of people get worried because they start and they don't get traction. They don't get likes. This isn't about likes. It's about love. Let me explain what I mean by that. eventually your grandkids are going to pull away from you because that is their right. We know this. They become teenagers. They want to, prove themselves, and they move away from the tribe and go out on their own. But eventually they come back, and you know that they're going to come back. But if you start something like this and you just plod along, and even if it goes 3 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever, but you've got something to show for this, they're going to come back and they're going to go, what? They're going to know that they were loved. And that is just so important. They're going to know how lucky they were to have someone like you in their lives who was willing to invest time into them, invest time into yourself, to be scared, to be vulnerable, take some chances because you wanted to make it better for them. That is so important. And you know what? In their life, they will see that because that is role modeling, that is leadership. And that's going to be stuck in their brain. And who knows? They might decide to do something like that themselves. So, we make little ripples, but we don't know how these ripples are going to end up, and they get larger and larger, and they can really influence people's lives. So, I don't want to bang on about that too much because I will be banging on about that forever. But I want you to understand there's opportunity and possibility out there for you. You're never too old. It's never over. Not nowadays. It's just not. Huh, look at me. I'm a living example of that. So just to finish off here, if you're in Brisbane, come down to the Grandad Club at Clubhouse Maruka Saturday. That's this Saturday, 4th of October, 2025, 4 to 6 p.m. Hopefully it's the first of many, and we can have a chat. Would love to meet you. And remember, this is about better men and better kids, which means you can change who you are and you can change who they become. All right, hooroo.